Hafa day, everyone. Welcome to D16 Tonight. I'm Ken Quintanilla, your host for this week's program. Joining us live in studio are senatorial candidates Louise, Telena Nelson, and incumbent Frank Blas Jr. Thank you so much again for sharing your time with us, guys. As you may know, our show is completely interactive. Almost all of your questions come from our viewers who are watching us live on Facebook. Before we begin, I'll give each of you about 30 seconds for some introductory comments. I'll start with you, Louise.
Thank you, Hafa day. Thank you, Ken. My name is Louise Borjamunya, and I'm a working mom. And I decided to run because I wanted to help working families, but not just working families, but also veterans and even students. And I want to help improve the quality of their lives. And that's the reason why I decided to run. Thank you.
Senator Blas.
Well, thank you very much, Ken, and Hafa day to everybody. My name is Frank Blas Jr., and I'm an incumbent, and I'm honored and thank you very much for giving me the honor of serving you in the 33rd Guam Legislature. I look to your vote to continue to serve you in the 34th. I will continue to work towards protecting your families and protecting your future. Thank you very much.
And Ms. Telena.
Hafa day, Guam. My name is Telena Cruz Nelson. I follow a long line of public servants in my family. A little bit about my history. I've been in the Army National Guard for 15 years. I've worked as a combat medic for both Guam and the state of California. I've been a National Registered EMT with Children's Hospital of Orange County. Various positions that I held as an officer, as a staff communications officer in Afghanistan. I've been a company commander twice, and now I'm a captain in the Guam Army National Guard as a computer network defense team chief. I've also worked for the Soil and Water Conservation, and I'm an educator.
Cool. Thanks again for this introductory comments. I guess we'll get straight to the questions. We have a lot of viewers online. Again, we'll give you about 30 seconds for each response. The first question comes from Milan Strong in Faith. I love that name. And her question goes, healthcare. How will you contribute to the development of growing issues in Guam's healthcare? I'll start with Senator Blas.
Well, thank you very much. Well, first off, I come actually, my mother is a registered nurse. And I was in the 29th Guam Legislature. I served as the chairman of Health and Human Services and Homeland Security. And I see that, as opposed to 20, 30 years ago, where we have the technology today to be able to televise or to link with medical experts throughout the world, that we somehow we need to look into using that a little bit more, telemedicine, if you will. And taking advantage of many of our people who have gone off island. I've got a nephew who serves as a surgeon in South Carolina. I'd like to bring him home to be able to serve our people.
And Telena?
Well, being in the medical field for myself, as the history of my life, healthcare is very important to me. And some of the challenges I see is, first of all, the insurance. Our retirees in the news are always up on the chopping block when it comes to funding for the insurance. Some of the proposals that I make is that we go back to Congress, and in lieu of war reparations, we work with the war survivors and see if we can negotiate with Congress perhaps some, instead of monetary reparations, we could give them medical, dental, and life insurance for both retirees and for the war survivors.
And for Louise?
Thank you. Thank you, Milan Strong in Faith, for that question. My specific focus will be on cancer. According to the Cancer Coalition at the Department of Public Health and Wellness, one person is diagnosed with cancer every single day, and every 3 days somebody dies of cancer. So I really want to focus specifically on families that are affected with this dreadful disease, and I do already have my first initiative, my first law that I'd like to pass to help these families.
Cool. And then on a separate note, another question we have from Jennifer Cruz Villarreal. She asked, what do you think about the pay raises that was given to senators and the governor? We'll start with Telena.
Okay, I've voiced my concern with this pay raise in numerous forums, and this is something that was disturbing to me when it occurred. I feel strongly that we should repeal the pay raises and really listen to the voice of the people and really give them an opportunity to speak at public hearings to see their views on and insight, because our community has a lot of experts and our community has a lot of concerns, and they bring a lot to the table. So I think that that's where I'd like to start, is really listen to our community, and this is what we want.
And Louise, what about you about the pay raises?
Well, I think that, and it's quite interesting because of the pay raises, that people who have approached me even before they know what my qualifications are to be senator, they automatically ask what my opinion is on the pay raise, and whether I say yes or no is their deciding factor whether they're going to vote for me. I do believe that that we should pay people according to their ability, but as far as the senator pay raises, I definitely will repeal that.
And Senator Blas?
Well, first off, when the pay raises were provided to the senators and to the governor, lieutenant governor, I was not part of that legislature. And the dynamics have changed over the last couple of years with regard to whether or not we have the ability to be able to actually make those raises. When you look at the position as opposed to the individuals that are holding it, there could be an argument as to whether or not they should be paid somewhere near that area. I am very open to a discussion of, repealing the raises, and based on our economic conditions, if it's not the right time, then maybe we should bring it back.
Okay, and there have been so much different points of view regarding recent legislation that was introduced to help pay tax refunds faster. I believe it's a $100 million bond borrowing measure, and people want to know, do you support Bill 390? We'll start with Louise.
Okay. Bill, I'd like to take a look at that bill a little bit more, because there's probably a lot of things that a whole lot of people don't really understand about the bill. I'd like to understand more on how we plan on paying it back. I'm a firm believer that we shouldn't borrow anything if we can't pay it back. So I would like to take a look more into it, but I do believe that people should get their tax refunds as soon as possible.
And Senator Blas?
Well, like Louise here, I agree that this is one of the things that we should take a look at. I'm a firm believer that any bill that comes before the legislature should be able, you should be able to take a look at it as a group holistically and get public input into this. Everybody would like to have their tax refunds in a more timely manner. Is this affordable? Can we do this? What are those steps that that need to be taken? Those are some of the things that need to be answered before you can actually say yes or no to a bill such as this.
And Telena, do you support Bill 390?
Well, tax refunds are very important to all of us. It infuses the economy as well. So I would like to see if we can shorten the timeline or shorten the timeline to make it quicker so that people can get their money their tax refund at a quicker rate, rather than having to wait for 6 months. There's money already allocated for tax refunds. So my question is, where is that $100 million really going to go to?
Okay, another question we have here is from Christian Valencia. He's asking, what do you think is the greatest weakness of the current Guam legislature, and how do you plan to address it? I guess we'll start with Telena. We'll start with the incumbent will make you last. We'll start with Telena.
No problem.
The greatest weakness of the Guam legislature.
And how do you plan to address it?
Well, I've known a lot of these senators for a good year of my adult life, good years of my adult life, and all of them are good people. I think the most disturbing thing about some of the choices that we make is we don't listen to the voice of the people. And the community is very important. The people are very important. We are servant leaders. That's why we're doing this, to serve the people. And it's important that we look at their needs first.
And Louise?
I personally think that the greatest weakness is, with all due respect, Frank, that it's just a matter of having that common ground to serve the people, and the people should be at their best interest, so they should be able to work together. And I think that's probably their greatest weakness, is not being able to find that common ground for the benefit of the people.
And for someone who's currently sitting in the Guam legislature,
Well,
do you feel there's any weakness?
I have to agree with these two lovely women. First off, you're right. The legislature serves, at the voice of the people. And in the public hearing process, one of the greatest weaknesses that I see is we've got to give the public the opportunity to be able to speak their minds. Give them that voice. A lot of times when I go in there, I sometimes get embarrassed when I see that there's a lot of questions coming from the individuals that should be listening more so than talking. And when I was chairing back in the 29th, I gave that opportunity. I had my hearings from the bottom up, from the consumer to the agency head. So we have to give more public input on it.
Thanks again, guys. Great answers. We're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned. More D16 after this.